So this one is also the chain rule. Find an expression for dy dx, or the equation y is equal to 5 over 2 minus 3x. So in this case, this is our equation. You can write it in this form, 3x to the power negative 1. So to differentiate this, you can let u be this part here, 2 minus 3x, so that y will be 5. Where there is this, you put your u to the power negative 1. So the chain rule states that dy dx is equal to du, or you can say dy du multiplied by du dx. So all you need is your dy dx, which you can obtain from here, and your du dx, which you can get from there. So let's find them. Our du dx will simply be negative 3, since this is a constant. And then our dy du will be this times this, which is negative 5, and then u to the power negative 2. Remember, we are subtracting a 1 from there, so that you have this. And then you can substitute this in there. Dy dx is equal to, our dy du is negative 5 u to the power negative 2 multiplied by our du dx. Du dx is simply negative 3. So you can say 5. Our u is this one here. We know what our u is. Of course, you can multiply this by this. This would be a 15. Then our u is 2 minus 3x, then raised to the power 2. So this is our dy dx, and this is our answer there. On part B, the variables x and y are related by the equation this. Obtain an expression for dy dx and find the approximate change in y as x. I think I meant to say and as x increases from 1 to 1.01. So as you can see, this is the chain rule as well, because we have some function in there and a power like that. And then a very common mistake is to forget the second part. Just after differentiating, make sure that you remember to read the question and answer the second part of it. Okay, so to find dy dx of this, we know that y is equal to 2x plus 1 raised to the power 4. And then the chain rule states that dy dx is equal to du, or maybe let's start with dy du multiplied by du dx. And by the way, it doesn't matter what order you take. If you want, you can start with du dx multiplied by dy dx, since multiplication is commutative. So you can let u be 2x plus 1, and then since u is 2x plus 1, then y will simply be, where you have this, you can put your u, you have u to the power 4. And then dy dx will therefore be, dy du, we're differentiating y with respect to u. This will be 4u raised to the power 3. Remember, the power is reducing by 1, so you're subtracting a 1 like this, and then multiplying this by that. And then we also need du dx, which we can obtain from there. So our du dx will simply be a 2, since this will give us a 0. So that means our dy dx will be dy du is 4u to the power 3 multiplied by du dx. Du dx is simply a 2. So our dy dx will be this times this is an 8u to the power 3. But of course, we know that our u is 2x plus 1. So you can say 8. And then where you have u, you can put 2x plus 1 raised to the power 3. So that means you have answered the first part of the question. And then the second part is saying find the approximate change in y as x increases. So x is increasing from 1 to... So the initial value of x is called the k, and then the difference between these two is called the small increment, usually denoted by this. So k is equal to 1, and then the small increment in x, or the change in x, is given by final value of x minus the initial value of x. So this is not an 8, by the way, like this. So the small increment of x is this minus this, which will be 0.02. So now to find the small increment in y after this change, or this approximate change in x, you can use the formula, this one, delta y, which is the small increment or the small change in y, is equal to dy dx when x is equal to k multiplied by the small increment in x. So our dy dx is this. So I have 8 2x plus 1 to the power 3 when x is equal to, our k is 1, so when x is equal to k, multiplied by the small change in x, which is delta x, and this is 0.02. So now from here you just simplify your work. You can substitute the 1 in there, so you have 1 times 2, which is 2. So you have 1 times 2 plus 1 raised to the power 3 multiplied by 0.02. And then this one will be, this times this is 2 plus this, that's 3, and then 3 to the power 3, this is 27 multiplied by 0.02. Then when we multiply this by this, I think we get something like 0.16 multiplied by 27. Let me just verify that. We have 0.02 multiplied by 8. Yeah, that's 0.16, and then multiplied by 27. So the small change in y will be 4.32. And you are done. You have answered the second part of the question.